past year, and I think it would do justice if I just read it to you. On July 4th, 2015, I woke up happy and looking forward to spending a long holiday weekend with my wife, Helen, and my then 3-year-old daughter, Hayden. I was on top of the world. My wife and I had just agreed to have another child, and that same week, I had started a new job. I could have never imagined what the next few hours were about to bring. On that morning, we took my daughter Hayden to see a movie, and afterwards we went to the mall. As she played innocently between the racks of clothing at a department store, the light happened to catch her eye at just the right angle, and I noticed a strange white haze. I was puzzled with what I had seen, so I asked my wife to confirm, and once she did, we immediately took Hayden to the emergency room at DuPont. At the hospital, a simple exam revealed that Hayden no longer had vision in her right eye. And a few minutes later, an ultrasound showed the reason was due to a large tumor in her retina. I couldn't comprehend what was happening, and to this day, it's still difficult to understand. She had no prior medical issues. She never struggled with her vision. In fact, that week she had gymnastics, soccer, and a swim lesson. She was a seemingly perfectly healthy little girl. Although my initial reaction was one of denial, the severity of her condition was uncovered quickly when a scan of her brain identified that the tumor had escaped her eye and was now traveling down her optic nerve. At that point, things began to move very fast. By the end of the first week, Hayden already had the surgery to remove her eye, and a second surgery to implant a catheter in her chest. It was the most helpless and indescribable feeling watching her suffer. I'll never forget seeing her awake from the eye surgery, screaming in pain and pulling at her hair from the sensation of no longer having her eye. The child that only knew happiness and joy just a few days earlier now had a permanent impairment, and we hadn't even begun cancer treatments yet. The next 6 months would be spent at CHOP, where Hayden would receive some of the most toxic treatments available. Her health would gradually decline as our lives would spiral out of control. Those months were mostly a blur. We lived moment by moment. I lost my job. My wife had to take a leave of absence from work so we could both be constantly by Hayden's side. All the while, we watched as Hayden's friends and classmates, their lives progressed. They were going swimming. They were vacationing at the beach, celebrating birthdays, and eventually starting school again. Hayden's life was now confined to a hospital bed. She was constantly hooked to a fusion pump. She was vomiting, fevers, blood transfusions. That's what filled her day. There was no longer fun and laughter in her life. And then in October, Hayden turned 4. But there was nothing to celebrate. Instead, that was the month that she went 25 days without eating and was now too weak to walk or even stand on her own. She was forced to take hypertension medication because her blood pressure was too high from a morphine withdrawal. And I also think it was due to stress. Around that same time, we learned that the chemotherapy had caused her to have some permanent hearing loss. Her liver and heart were failing, and she was now so sick and uncomfortable that she stopped communicating with us. Things couldn't get much worse. I can continue to describe what we went through, but the reality is that right now there are thousands of other families going through the same circumstances. Hayden's story is not unique. Unfortunately, it's common. It's a common tale of childhood cancer, and it's a horrible world to be part of. But with that said, it's also a world that's brought me here tonight, and it's how we were introduced to the wonderful people of the Andrew McDonough Be Positive family. I had never heard of Andrew's story or the foundation until a mutual friend introduced us to Joe last year. Upon hearing of our story, like Joe just mentioned, he wasted no time in visiting us at SHOP. It was a very emotional meeting. It was the first time I had spoken to another parent that had been in our position. My memories are that Joe took notes on what looked like an old crumpled receipt. He was very inconspicuous. He made us some promises and then left. I have to admit that I was skeptical. But then things started to happen almost instantly. Joe put us in contact with a leading expert for retinoblastoma who gave us the reassurance that we needed on Hayden's treatment plan. Joe also gave us immediate financial support, which was one less burden that we had to worry about. And lastly, Joe put me in contact with an attorney who helped me appeal and eventually win my unemployment claim. When Hayden's treatment was completed last December, Joe was there again, offering Hayden an opportunity to become a B-positive hero, where she was adopted by the University of Delaware Women's Lacrosse team. The team has helped Hayden's recovery immensely. They always make Hayden feel like the center of attention. They provide her with an overwhelming amount of love and support, and I think Hayden describes it best when she says, "They're my big sisters." Not in my wildest dream could I have ever imagined being impacted by this disease. There's no family history of cancer in either of our families. I always thought things like this were due to poor lifestyle decisions or hereditary, but I learned the hard way that this could happen to anyone. But I also learned that there are a lot of kind and generous people that are willing to help, like the McDonoughs and the entire B-positive family, and everyone here tonight. In my opinion, Joe and his family have memorialized Andrew's life with the greatest honor by dedicating his memory to helping children and families in need. And hopefully someday the foundation will be the catalyst that helps find a cure so that no other father has to stand up here and tell this story again. Thank you, Joe.